Sorry about that. Little interruption there. Not that I really missed anything great. Missed just the terribleness of whatever that segment was. The terribleness of the Aaliyah Mysterio and Murphy kiss. We knew it was coming. Knew it was coming. It was inevitable that was going to happen, and we saw it. Just what terribleness! What absolute terribleness! There. Just double check that we are live now after those technical problems. Just absolute. Just that. What was that segment? What was that segment? Just, just absolute terribleness. Awful. Again, just absolute. Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It was that bad. Again, we all knew that was gonna. You could tell that was gonna happen. You could tell that was coming, just by the kiss that was gonna happen, and then it did happen. Just absolute terribleness. Awful. And just what a terrible story, to be honest. Again, I don't know how you can justify that. It's just very creepy, very bad, and just awful. Just terrible. I don't know who was writing it. The only good thing, but during any of that, was Seth Rollins' reaction. That was the only positive thing during any of that, was the reaction by Seth Rollins. Just absolute. Oh, what can you say? Just terrible, absolute terrible. Who who enjoyed that apart from weird people? Let's see what social media is saying, because you know for a fact that social media is going to be exploding right now with just whatever that was, because that was just And again, like, the storyline doesn't need to be going on anyway, let alone just how terrible. Just so bad. And bear in mind, it said that kiss happened after Aaliyah Mysterio tells her father, Rey Mysterio, that she loves Murphy. Just awful. Absolutely terrible. But we have the Street Profits in the ring right now. They'll be facing the New Day at Survivor Series. Obviously, this past Monday on Raw, the New Day did some impressions of the New Day. Of course, these were two tag teams that switched their tag team titles after being drafted to the opposition brand. Angelo Dawkins, you can tell there, he's lost a ton of weight. He's got that jawline back going on right there. Montez Ford as well he's an absolute megastar waiting to happen, isn't he? He's just, he's got charisma for days. His athleticism in the ring is absolutely insane as well. It's just absolutely fantastic. They say they are going to take the torch, and they are the best of the best. But it looks like the Street Profits, they've done the We Want the Smoke. Does anyone find when Angelo Dawkins does the whole yeah thing really, really annoying? Because it is really, really annoying. I think the Street Profits and the New Day at Survivor Series is going to be a lot of fun, though. It really is going to be an absolutely fantastic match. I'm looking forward to that a lot. teams that never faced off before. It's a babyface match, which sometimes can be a bit difficult to watch, but really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. But the Street Profits are going to be facing Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Of course, this was a match we saw a few weeks ago during the whole Raw in your face Raw, when you had the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Champions face off. It was the Street Profits against Nakamura and Cesaro. Then the Street Profits won. So we will see a rematch of sorts now that they are both on the SmackDown brand between the Street Profits and Cesaro and Nakamura. Isn't it such a shame what happened to Shinsuke Nakamura? Nakamura at one point, was... Shinsuke Nakamura was so exciting, potential WWE champion, and look at him now. Different music, different entrance, part of a tag team. Such a shame. Such an absolute shame. But here we go, the match has started between Cesaro and Angelo Dawkins in the ring first of the Street Profits as they're facing Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. But Montez Ford has been tagged in, and a drop kick to Angelo Dawkins right there. But Shinsuke Nakamura has broken things up, and he is in the ring right now. But a kick to the face by Nakamura. Drop kick by Montez Ford. So we're about an hour. We've got 45 minutes left of the show, and we've still got the Survivor Series qualifier between Daniel Bryan and Jay Uso. We'll have to see if, as Montez Ford does his best Ultimate Warrior impression there, of shaking the ropes. Here we go. Montez Ford does the dive over the top rope. But oh my God! Cesaro just threw Montez Ford into what would have been the crowd there. My word, that was absolutely insane. That was absolutely crazy by Cesaro there. Wow. But I'm really excited for the New Day versus the Street Profits at Survivor Series. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, if you are new to Wrestle News 365, be sure to click the bottom right hand corner. You can subscribe to the channel there. If you are enjoying SmackDown here, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Really just help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get to people's recommendation feeds if you haven't seen our videos previously. Super chats are open. You can click the $sign, and in the live chat, any donations are much appreciated and welcomed by the channels. We're on commercial right now. That spot there by Cesaro and Montez Ford was crazy. It was absolutely crazy there. I mean, I'm assuming there would have been the way that they shot it. You never saw Montez Ford actually land on the floor. So basically, that means that there was a crash mat there. But nevertheless, absolutely incredibly impressive, very very impressive spot there by Montez Ford and Cesaro. It's not until when you watch the shows live that you remember about all of the ad breaks when you watch it the day after, because over here in the UK, obviously, if you're going to watch it, you have to stay up late, and it's midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and it's a bit it's quite taxing because it's quite tiring. So when you don't watch it live and you watch it the next day, you can skip through the adverts and the show can flow quite quicker and better. But when you watch it live, you realise how long these adverts are. And you're like, oh, what to do? Usually that's the time to go on social media and see what people are making and what people are reacting to the show. And I think pretty much what everyone will be reacting to right now is that Murphy and Aaliyah Mysterio segment, because my word, that was something else. Perfect time for the stream to cut out, by the way. But yeah, God, terrible. So Aaliyah Mysterio has professed her love for Murphy, and they sealed it with a kiss. Yes, the kiss actually happened between Murphy and Rey Mysterio. Just terribleness, absolute terribleness. So creepy, and I think the worst is it's just begun. It's just begun. So much so that I don't even really care about what the plans are there. I mean, you know, some other storylines, it's almost a bit fun to speculate where they're going with it, whether it's, oh, is this all a plot by Rollins and Murphy and that kind of deal. I don't think anyone's actually talking about that because no one actually cares. Everyone's just horrified and disgusted by what's actually happening as opposed to the storyline itself. Which is, I mean, can you blame anyone for thinking that? It's very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. But we're back now on SmackDown. And we have the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, facing Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. But we see a replay of Montez Ford just being thrown into the crowd by Cesaro. But apparently Montez Ford is fine because he's in the ring right now with Cesaro. I mean, back in the day, you would have thought that that would have been like an injury angle or like a career-ending angle, stuff like that. Nowadays, it's just a mid-match spot, and I think the Street Profits will win. Ian Thompson says, "What happened to your live stream?" We cut out. We had it the other day. We were doing Halloween Havoc, and we had a power cut, and it's the same thing happened here. I don't know what's going on. We heard some. The area that I live in had some cuts, and I think it's happened again. Which is just incredibly frustrating because it happens at the same time. The problem is with, again, if you watch things over here in the UK, like whenever they do like maintenance stuff, when it's like, you know, for electricity or it's for Wi-Fi or anything like that, they do it when they think less people are active, which is of course early in the morning over here in the UK. But it means that it's been cut out for the last couple of live streams, which is incredibly frustrating. But we're back. We made it back, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. Angelo Dawkins has got the hot tag here. And he is making the hot tag and attacking both Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura here. Dawkins has certainly lost some weight. There's no doubt he's lost weight. As he hits a bulldog on Cesaro there. Bulldog on Cesaro, who favoured his teeth for a second there. The infamous Cesaro teeth when he got his teeth knocked out. Do you remember that? My oh my. That was terrible. But Cesaro's hitting an uppercut there on Dawkins. It's just, to be honest, the Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura tag team is just, to be honest, it's just really sad. These are two guys that could and probably should be in the main event scene and potentially be world champions, and instead they're in a tag team and they're going to lose this match, and they're just sort of doing nothing, and it's very sad. But Dawkins looks like he needs a tag, but there's obviously no one to tag here right now. If you have returned to the stream after the first one was cut off, please do smash a like on the like button. It really does help us out here on YouTube. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As Nakamura has got Dawkins set up on the top rope, he's going to go for his trademark running knee to the gut, hits it on Angelo Dawkins there. He's going to probably get a 1 count, I would have thought. Kicks out. Tag into Cesaro though, who comes in. He's got Dawkins, he's got him hooked up. Here we go. Nakamura, knee to the back of the head. And a gut wrench powerbomb by Cesaro. That was nice. But it's broken up by Montez Ford, who is still fine despite being thrown into the crowd a few minutes ago. But he's thrown out of the ring by Shinsuke Nakamura. Ford thrown straight into the boot of Cesaro there. Nasty, nasty. Oh, small package though by Dawkins. Kicks out though by Cesaro. And a clothesline there by Cesaro. My God, what a clothesline. But Dawkins kicks out at 2 once again. Bang. God, what a clothesline that was. Nakamura goes to the top rope, kicks away Montez Ford. Cesaro thrown in. Here we go. Boom. Anointment by Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins going up to the top rope. Looks like Nakamura is going to get a superplex, and I would have thought that Montez Ford goes for a frog splash of sorts. Here we go, superplex, and they just, oh my god. Montez Ford just literally jumps up to the top of the Thunderdome when he does a frog splash. A real ginger cover though. I think Montez Ford might have hurt himself there. My god. Or maybe, hopefully he's just selling. But my god, what a frog splash. He got so much height that Montez Ford looks like he did some damage. That was a nasty landing. Looks like he was in a bit of pain there, but I think he's okay. But again, it's almost just a bit sad, isn't it? It's just sad that, you know, Cesaro and Nakamura, they were two guys that should be main event level talents, maybe even world champions, and instead they're in a tag team. My god, look at that frog splash. I mean, literally, how high in the air? How high would you say that is? Because that is, I mean, outrageously high. Outrageously high. My god. That is incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. The height that he manages to get there is just insane. There's Sami Zayn backstage, the great Sami Zayn, the great liberator himself. And obviously he's talking about his Survivor Series match against Bobby Lashley. If he doesn't have a reference to Bobby Lashley's sister's segment, oh. Because obviously that Bobby Lashley sister segment between him and Sami Zayn was on Raw, when was that? 2 years ago? Something like that? A year ago? God, it was terrible. It was awful. Sami Zayn is calling himself the People's Champion, and he seriously is. There is no doubt that he is. What's amazing as well as Sami Zayn is the criticism on him used to be that he couldn't cut a promo. And now he's nothing but promo. His promos are absolutely fantastic. His promos are incredible. Absolutely incredible. But the question is, who wins that match between Sami Zayn at Survivor Series and Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series? You would think that given how, I want to say protected Sami Zayn is, but given the way that Bobby Lashley is booked, you would think that Sami Zayn would be the one to win that match. But here is Sasha Banks, the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Let's see if this graphic works. It does. Amazing. After being cut out. This sometimes with this like software, after that cut there, just sometimes it goes crazy and doesn't work. But we've got Sasha Banks making her way to the ring right now. Obviously, she's in season 2 of The Mandalorian, which debuted today on Disney Plus. I don't know. I haven't seen the episode, so no spoilers here. But I don't know if she's actually in this opening episode that was on Disney Plus there. I don't know. But again, there's no surprise to me that she's been crowned the new SmackDown Women's Champion right now, considering that she is on The Mandalorian, which is just airing. It makes a lot of sense because there is a lot of attention going to go on Sasha Banks right now. People that aren't familiar with her or people that don't know her are going to be checking her out, going onto her Instagram page, going onto her social media page, and they're going to be wanting to find out more about Sasha Banks. They're going to be wanting to find out more about her and what she does. Then they're going to see that she's a WWE superstar, so that they're going to go, oh, she's a WWE superstar, check that out. And then they're going to see she's a champion. You know, she's also, as well as Sasha Banks, is going to be doing a lot of media. She's going to be doing a lot of media. She's going to be doing a lot of interviews in the coming weeks to promote The Mandalorian, without a doubt. And WWE wants her to have the championship title with her at that time as well. So I think that makes a lot of sense as to why they sped this up. I still wish they took their time with it, and that could have been a WrestleMania main event. I still think it could have been a WrestleMania main event between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Who knows? Maybe it still can be in 5 months' time, 6 months' time, maybe it still can be a WrestleMania main event. I just felt that if they took their time, you could have really had a moment, between Sasha Banks and between Bayley that could have been special, with Sasha Banks returning at the Rumble and winning it and all of that sort of stuff. I thought it could have been really, really special, but obviously not the case. Wasn't to be. Sasha Banks won at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. Bear in mind as well, I must say, about that Hell in a Cell match between Sasha Banks and Bayley, it was, I mean, it's got to be the best women's Hell in a Cell match ever, right? I mean, I know there's only been, 3? All of them to have Sasha Banks in, by the way. She is absolutely the queen of the Cell, without a doubt. But the best women's Hell in a Cell match ever took place on Sunday. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. Was it the best Cell match of the entire show? Probably. I would probably say so. That's tough because I thought all 3 matches were very good inside Hell in a Cell. To be honest, I wouldn't have 3 matches inside Hell in a Cell, but I thought all 3 matches were good, and I thought most importantly all 3 matches were different. In their own way, they added a different thing. Whether it was the I Quit match, which wasn't about the actual moves and all of that sort of stuff, it was about the emotion. The Bayley and Sasha Banks match, which was, I felt was definitely the best match, definitely the best Hell in a Cell match of the show. I thought it had the best moves and just the best technical match, the best innovation and the best near falls, all of that. And then the Randy Orton Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell match was good as well. I didn't think it was as good of a match as Banks and Bayley. Obviously, I think it was the main event just because it had the title change. I think, personally, I would have preferred, and I wish that Bayley and Banks had main evented the show. I think their feud deserves it, and I think the title change deserved it as well. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. But we saw Sasha Banks become the SmackDown Women's Champion instead. Kevin Abreu says, yeah, that makes sense for Sasha. She's the only horsewoman never to win a WrestleMania match. Is that the case? Well, maybe that will happen at WrestleMania in, it's meant to be in California, but it's most likely going to be moved to Raymond James Stadium in Florida, isn't it? As we're about to come back from commercial right now. If you're happy that Sasha Banks is the SmackDown Women's Champion, be sure to smash a like on the like button, really to help us out here on YouTube. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Really just help us out as we're back. They're plugging Talking Smack tomorrow. It's going to have be hosted by Sami Zayn and Kayla Braxton. We've got Bayley, Street Profits, and the Mysterios, Dominic and Ray, on there as well. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what the Mysterios say after that horrific Aaliyah Mysterio segment, where she professed her love for Murphy and the 2 locked lips. Yes, the 30-something-year-old. Actually, let's double check this. How old is Murphy? If you know how old Murphy is, put it in the live chat. I will double check now. Murphy. So Buddy Murphy is 32 years old and Aaliyah Mysterio is 18. Yeah, that's that top-notch writing from WWE. The best writing in the world. Vince McMahon on that third quarter call said that they had the best writing in the world. 18-year-old with 32-year-old. Kevin Abreu said this match between Sasha and Asuka should be a submission match. It would be awesome. It's going to be an absolute great match. I'd have been so hyped for it if we hadn't seen it a million times earlier this year, though. But Sasha Banks is cutting a promo in the ring right now, talking about taking the SmackDown Women's Championship. Of course, Banks is now a Grand Slam champion too. And Sasha Banks has the chair that Bayley had, that attacked Sasha Banks with, the role model chair. And this promo, of course, is paralleling. Is that a word? Paralleling? The promo that Bayley did after she attacked Sasha Banks sitting on the chair in the ring. Sasha Banks throws the chair out of the ring. Well, she attempted to, but it bounced off the rope. I think that was meant to fall out of the ring, but it bounced off the rope instead. But I suppose, who does Banks face next on SmackDown? I don't think the Bayley's feud is over yet. I think the Bayley feud will continue. And there you go, Sasha Banks. Of course, off the blueprint, the boss and the SmackDown Women's Champion hold the championship high above her head. And she's talking about facing Asuka. Again, would be super, super hyped for this match. And I have no doubt the match will be good because all of their matches were good. But how many times have we seen Asuka versus Sasha Banks this year? We saw it at Extreme Rules, we've seen it on Raw, we saw it at SummerSlam. It's just, we've seen it. But out comes Bayley. Bayley's out and Bayley is out confronting her former best friend. Bayley references the fact that every time Sasha Banks has won a championship in WWE, she loses it at her first defense, which is a very good point. You can win a championship, but you can't keep one. It's a good point. I mean, Sasha Banks, that is the thing with her in WWE, is every time she wins a title, she can't keep it. And it certainly is an issue for her. I think she'll have her first defense and she'll retain it this time. There's no way they would do it again. Surely not. Just depends who that's going to be against, I guess. We'll find out eventually who it is going to be against. Bayley says that Sasha Banks can't beat Asuka without Bayley in her corner. So we're going to get the rematch next week because Bayley has just challenged Sasha Banks to a SmackDown Women's Championship match next week. So this is going to be interesting next week. Well, we've actually got a match confirmed for the show before it happens. Good. But also we're going to see if Sasha Banks can actually retain and keep a championship, which she's never done in WWE. And we get another Sasha Banks versus Bayley match. Very excited for this one. I've no doubts. I have no doubts that Sasha Banks will retain next week. Because that's the point they're trying to prove here. It's the fact that Sasha Banks, she's never retained a main roster championship after she's won it. She's been Raw Women's Champion, 4 times? And she's lost it every time on the first defense. So it's going to be interesting next week. I have no doubts that Sasha Banks will retain there next week. She has to. She has to, surely. She has to, surely. But we are on Michael Cole and Corey Graves now, who are hyping up the November month for The Undertaker, the month of the Dead Man on the WWE Network. As we see a sneak peek of The Undertaker on the WWE Network, it looks like, which is going to be interesting. But we are seeing 30 Days of the Dead Man, they're calling it. 30 Days of the Dead Man on the network. You've got they've got a ton of new documentaries coming on there. One on Paul Bearer, one on the Brothers of Destruction, where I think it's actually Kane and The Undertaker sitting opposite each other talking. You've got The Undertaker on the Broken Skull Sessions, Part 2. You've got meeting Mark Calloway. It's gonna be that 30 Days of the Dead Man on the WWE Network is gonna be awesome. As we have Daniel Bryan making his way next, so we've got the Survivor Series qualifier match between Daniel Bryan and Jay Uso coming next. So Daniel Bryan is once again competing on SmackDown. But I think Daniel Bryan is going to retain here. I think Daniel Bryan is going to retain. I think Daniel Bryan is going to win here. I think he's going to be on the SmackDown men's team at Survivor Series alongside Kevin Owens. They mentioned about tag teaming together. I think they're going to get that opportunity at Survivor Series, and I think they're going to be team captains. I think they're going to be team captains. And not only I think are they going to be team captains, I think it's going to be a fun match. Those Survivor Series matches are always a lot of fun. They always are really a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that match. I said I would be very, very surprised to be honest, if Roman Reigns won. If Jay Uso won, because I think he's going to be involved in that feud with I think he's going to be involved in the thing with Roman Reigns, and about the bowing down to his tribal chief and all that sort of stuff. But we're on commercial right now. So what's everyone thinking of this SmackDown episode so far? We've got the Survivor Series qualifying match coming up next between Daniel Bryan and Jay Uso. If you're enjoying SmackDown, smash a like on the like button. Really just help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get to people's recommendation feeds, especially considering we got our stream cut off earlier, which is incredibly frustrating. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now. Let's see how many subscribers we are on. It's crazy because you always, when you're on the channel, we were aiming for so long to get to 1,000. Now we have it. You have to almost set new goals for yourself. I think setting new goals is really important. So we're currently on 1,119. So let's try. The initial aim was 1,130, but obviously the stream cut out, which is a bit frustrating. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. You can be the 1,120th subscriber. Who is going to be that 1,120th subscriber? So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Kevin says SmackDown better than Raw. I think it is. I think it's been better than Raw for quite a while at this point, to be honest. It's been certainly quite a while at this point. As we're just about to come back from commercial and have this second Survivor Series qualifying match of the night. As they've confirmed that next week on Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, we will have a SmackDown Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. So we will have a SmackDown Women's Championship main event next week. Looking forward to that. We will be doing a watch-along for that show, as well as Monday Night Raw, NXT or Dynamite on Wednesday too. And Full Gear and Survivor Series and all of that sort of stuff. So you can make sure to find out when we do go live for all of those watch-alongs by subscribing and clicking that notification bell. So we will be doing a watch-along next week for SmackDown too. As I mentioned before, it looks like the over here in the UK we're going back into national lockdown. So certainly we'll have a lot of time on our hands to do things like these live streams. So, and here comes Jay Uso, who obviously I guess has a lot on his mind right now, considering the promo to open the show earlier on, which really was absolutely fantastic between Jay Uso and Roman Reigns. Jay Uso fighting back emotion and Daniel Bryan bobbing his head to the music there, obviously enjoying the Usos theme song. I hope next week the Sasha Banks Bayley match gets a lot of time. You would hope that it does get a lot of time, and it should get a lot of time. I mean, the Bayley Sasha Banks match is a match that should get, the thing is, even if you give it 30 minutes of TV time, you have to factor in adverts there. So a 30-minute match is actually about a 20-minute match, 15 maybe minute match, which is frustrating. But let's hope it gets a lot of time as Jay Uso and Daniel Bryan are locking up here. Daniel Bryan as well was on Talking Smack recently, and he admitted that basically this run, however long this run is with WWE right now, is his last full-time run. He said that apart from that, after that, he's not necessarily retiring, but he will be done as a full-time WWE superstar. He would become a part-timer. And you got to remember, this is a guy in Daniel Bryan that has been doing this for a long, long time, and he made his WWE debut in 2010. He's been with the company for 10 years, but he's had a lot of injuries. Obviously, at one point he had to retire because of said injuries, and he mentioned that his body isn't as fast and he's not as quick and doesn't have the reflexes he used to have. I think the most important thing is that if Bryan wants to slow down, if Daniel Bryan wants to retire whenever he does, he can do it on his own terms now, which is obviously a lot different to having his career whipped away from him, and that's really important. Roy Ribeiro says, I think without Bray and Alexa, SmackDown has lost a bit of momentum, because if you have Roman, Bray and Alexa, you have two of the best stories. Now one is for Raw and the other is for SmackDown. I think that's probably accurate. I think the thing is, though, with that is that at least Raw has a good story. Some of those recent Raws prior to the draft were absolutely unwatchable and really difficult to watch and just stupid and lacked logic. And at least with, as you mentioned, The Fiend and Alexa Bliss being on Monday nights, at least that's a positive. That's a positive about Monday Night Raw there. That is something that is, worth watching, and you can actually sink your teeth into, as it were, and it is a lot of fun to watch. Like, I thought all the stuff with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend on Raw was excellent this week. I really liked the ending with The Fiend staring over the shoulder of Randy Orton and being that sort of presence, and them acknowledging the history between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. I thought that was excellent. But we see Jay Uso is working over Daniel Bryan here, slowing the pace down and working over the former WWE champion. Daniel Bryan, he's gone for the running flip in the corner. He's going to go duck under and clothesline. Here we go. There we go. As Michael Cole would say, vintage Daniel Bryan. You think Daniel Bryan's going to win? Smash a like on the like button. See if we can get those likes back up to where they were previously after our last stream got cut off. Frustrating thing as well, when the stream gets cut off, you have to make a new one. You can't just jump back onto your old one. So you have to make the stream up again. It's so annoying. But like I said, it's just something going on around here in the UK. It's been out of your hands. And like I said, if I was in America, if I was from America now, you wouldn't have, oh wait a minute, here we go, Roman Reigns music is hitting, and out comes Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, and is Jey Uso going to get the consequences and fall in line, as it were, to Roman Reigns before the night is over? As we go to commercial, as I mentioned, my prediction earlier on in the show was that I felt that Daniel Bryan would win, and then after the match, you have Roman Reigns telling Jey Uso essentially to fall in line, and that Jey Uso doesn't, and he refuses to fall in line, and then Roman Reigns is about to attack Jey Uso, and then Daniel Bryan sticks up for him and fights back, and then you have a Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan feud about to happen. I think that's where we're going with that. I think that's going to be the most logical place for that. Because I think if you look at all the potential there, who is going to be likely to be facing Roman Reigns in terms of challenges, like who else is there? Who else is there to challenge Roman Reigns? There aren't many top baby faces there. There really aren't many top baby faces on SmackDown right now, and I think Daniel Bryan is one of the only people, really, if you look at that, who is realistically not good enough, but of stature to face Roman Reigns. Because I don't think Jey Uso is going to get another Universal Championship match. To me, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, you have Roman Reigns facing Randy Orton at Survivor Series anyway, but we know that Randy Orton's next feud for the WWE Championship is going to be against The Fiend. So who else is going to face Roman Reigns? Kevin Avery says, what's happened to Big E? It's a very good question. There's been no sign of Big E so far on SmackDown so far. And it doesn't look like there'll be, considering there's about 10 minutes left, and this show ends straight on the hour, doesn't it? So we ain't getting any Big E tonight, which is obviously going to lead people to speculate as to where he is. Certainly going to be interesting to see where he is going forward. Because I think I think Big E, people would say, well, could Big E challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship? He certainly could. He certainly could challenge him in the future. I think Big E versus Roman Reigns, I think, is a good backup for a WrestleMania main event. And people will say, no, Big E's not ready for that and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think that is the case. I think Big E really could. I think there is potential that Big E could be good enough to face Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. If you built him up and Big E won the Royal Rumble and you could do stuff like that, I think that's absolutely something they could do there. As we're just about to come back on the air, the main event, of course, Daniel Bryan versus Jay Uso in a Survivor Series qualifying match. Survivor Series qualifying match to join Kevin Owens on the Team SmackDown Men's Survivor Series team. But Roman Reigns is out there after he said to Jay Uso he has until the end of the show to fall in line, as it were. Fall in line and acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. As I mentioned, I think Daniel Bryan is winning this match. And I think Reigns will try and force Uso to fall in line. And then after not falling in line, I think Daniel Bryan will come to save the day, as it were. And then we'll start off this Daniel Bryan-Roman Reigns feud, which I think is the only feud they can do. But of course, Roman Reigns facing Randy Orton at Survivor Series, WWE Champion versus Universal Champion. As Daniel Bryan just hits a drop kick to Jay Uso, who's been hung up in the corner there. Roman Reigns just lingering and watching at ringside. And Paul Heyman's just staring at Roman Reigns. Classic Daniel Bryan there. As Daniel Bryan went for the back suplex from the top rope, Jay Uso rolled through. That is a classic Daniel Bryan spot. I think my favourite version of that spot happened at Bragging Rights 10 years ago. Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler was US Champion versus Intercontinental Champion. Bragging Rights, ironically, is pretty much the same thing what Survivor Series is now. And it was, Daniel Bryan, United States Champion versus Dolph Ziggler, Intercontinental Champion. And the match was great. Crowd was into it. Just such a great opener for the show. Jay Uso's been over the top rope there. He's right next to Roman Reigns right now. Daniel Bryan went for a kick, but Uso's just hit a super kick on Daniel Bryan there. Jay Uso's going to top rope. Going to go for the Uso splash. Bryan gets the knees up and transitions into the LeBow lock. He's got the LeBow lock. Look at Jay Uso's shoulder. His shoulder is all tied up in different directions there. God, that shoulder looks disgusting. It's tied up in all kinds of direction, but Jay Uso's managed to make it to the bottom rope. And the submission is broken up, of course, by the rope break. Roman Reigns is still hanging around on the outside of the ring. Looking sinister, to say the least. Daniel Bryan's got the kicks to the gut of Jay Uso. Here we go. Daniel Bryan's going to go for the drop kick. Bang. Corner drop kick. Vintage Daniel Bryan. But he goes for it again, but Jay Uso hits a super kick. Man, that was nasty. And a second super kick by Jay Uso. Uso's going to go to the top rope for a splash. Bang, Uso splash, that is it. Is Bryan going to kick out? Jay Uso won. Wow. Did not see that coming. Jay Uso just beats Daniel Bryan clean with the splash. I did not see that coming. Wow. Well, what do I know? Nothing. Jay Uso just beat Daniel Bryan clean, middle of the ring. And in comes Roman Reigns. Wow. I thought Daniel Bryan had that one locked up. That is a surprise to say the least. Wow. But so Jay Uso at this point, he has clean victories over Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Clean in the middle of the ring on SmackDown. Talk about elevating someone and making sure they are known as a singles wrestler. Man, huge win. Jay Uso said that he acknowledges Roman Reigns and he's the head of the table. Got these two facing off. Who says he's the head of the table, and that's it. Roman Reigns doesn't look too pleased by it, though. Doesn't look too happy, too content with it. As Reigns is now just staring at Daniel Bryan. Oh my God. Roman Reigns was staring at Daniel Bryan, and Jay Uso's just super kicked Daniel Bryan. Bryan can't fight off. Uso's going to the top rope. Here we go. And another splash. Wow. He's doing the bidding for Roman Reigns here. Did Jay Uso just turn heel? What is going on? Jay Uso says he understands now. He says he understands and he loves you too. And he says he understands. Maybe we've got a heel turn by Jay Uso. Maybe this is the beginning of the Bloodline faction. And Jay Uso stands with Roman Reigns. Now Roman Reigns just tells Jay Uso and points at Daniel Bryan and says, makes him understand. Here we go. Jay Uso's outside the ring. He's looking for something. We're going to get a weapon of some kind? What is going on here? Well, he's grabbing Daniel Bryan and he's attacking Daniel Bryan on the outside of the ring. What is going on? Jay Uso, from crying at the top of the show and being upset at the top of the show and refusing to fall in line, has fallen in line pretty damn hard now because he's doing the bidding for Roman Reigns. Throws Daniel Bryan bang into the steel ring steps. We have a heel Jay Uso. Man, this storyline is just fantastic. The bloodline, the heel bloodline is on its way, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Daniel Bryan might be going through the announce table here. Roman Reigns, again, just see his full godfather. He's just standing there with an evil look on his face. And Jay Uso, here we go. He's got Daniel Bryan. He's going to set Daniel Bryan up on the announce table. What is Jay Uso going to do? Jay Uso's choking Daniel Bryan there. Be careful, you get fired for that. But Jay Uso says, man, is he going to dive from the top of the top rope through the announce table? He's going to go full Shane McMahon. Here we go. This is going to be crazy. Here we go. Jay Uso, top rope. Oh my God. I mean, he barely made it. He barely made it. Oh my God. Jay Uso just dived from the top rope through the announce table to the outside. Just hit a splash. I mean, and he didn't quite get all of Daniel Bryan there. God, I hope he's okay because that was... He did not make that. He did not make that. I hope he's alright. I mean, he could have cracked his hip, his pelvis. That was nasty. And he bounced off it. But Jay Uso says he understands. So we got Jay Uso turning heel, doing the bidding for Roman Reigns. He's fallen in line. And it looks like the heel version of the bloodline is happening. As Jay Uso dived from the top rope onto Daniel Bryan. Man, that looked rough, to say the least. Absolutely rough. But what an ending for the show. Didn't expect Jay Uso to win that one. Didn't expect the heel turn from Jay Uso as well. Just the next chapter in this Jay Uso and Roman Reigns storyline has just been absolutely, absolutely incredible. If you're shocked and surprised that Jay Uso turned heel there, smash a like on the like button because that is absolutely crazy. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now. We're going to be doing a lot more watch alongs here on the channel. We're going to do watch alongs on Monday for Raw, watch alongs on Wednesday for AEW or NXT, doing watch alongs on Friday for SmackDown. We've got AEW Full Gear coming up soon, so we'll be doing a watch along for that, and obviously Survivor Series next month too. So be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell, and you'll be notified when we do go live for watch alongs. They're usually set up about a day before, so you can set reminders on there too. But if you click the subscribe button and click the notification bell, you'll be notified when we go live. And we also post daily videos here on the channel about all things WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, all of that stuff. So be sure to subscribe and you won't miss a single thing. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this stream today. Apologies, we had to split it into 2 streams because it got cut off earlier. Hopefully that won't happen next time. But thank you very much.